Roy Mendez, Toronto.
J.R. Lupert,
J.R. Lupert, New Brunswick, Canada.
Sophia Jarowski, Ontario, Canada.
Arlene from Oklahoma.
Doug Hassel, Omaha, Nebraska.
Mike and Kelly from.
All right. Well, wow. Ivan Sisco here. How y'all doing? And welcome to tonight's call. As you can hear, the lines are literally maxed out. We've got people tuned in from many different parts of the world, not just people in provinces of Canada, not just people in states of the United States, but people literally calling in from all over the world. My name is Ivan Sisco. I make my home up here in New Brunswick, Canada, and we just had a huge blizzard come through here, and I will tell you, a lot of people are talking about the storm, and I'll tell you, the real storm is a storm called Organo Gold. And, tell you a little bit about us real quick. My better half, Elena, and I, we make our home in Shediac, New Brunswick, Canada, which is the lobster capital of the world. And, we're blessed. We've got 3 wonderful children. We're stay-at-home parents, and, we've been involved with this profession now for a little while, and we're just celebrating our 15th month of being involved with this great company. And tonight is a real treat, an honor, and a privilege for me, as I've had the opportunity to listen to Mr. Buggs speak several times now over the last year and a half or year and 3 months. And, I've always been mesmerized by his servant attitude, his passion, his knowledge, and the ability to expand our minds to do much bigger things. And, one of the things I know about Mr. Buggs, he is family first. To his wife, Arlene, and his son, Trey, Mr. Holton Buggs has become an icon inside of our profession and is the executive vice president of international sales worldwide. He's not only a $1 million ring earner many times over with OG, he is the #1 income earner of any company anywhere in our profession. You heard that right. He earns more income than any other man or woman inside of our profession. And more importantly, Holton, Mr. Buggs, has helped thousands of people improve their lives, both personally and professionally, enjoying the #1 lifestyle in the world. So on behalf of Elena and I and our entire organization, we are grateful for your continued leadership, Holton, but leading by an incredible example that you set forth for us to follow. So, Holton, if you're with us, please, I want to hand over the call to you.
Absolutely. Ivan, can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Well, I tell you what, man, I'm excited to be on this call. I've learned just a little bit more about you just from the introduction, and I'll say this in front of all your friends that's on this call, that you bragged about being in the lobster capital of the world. That means I'll be expecting some lobster at some point in time hitting my front door from Ivan and Elena Sisco, okay? But anyway, no, guys, I'm excited to be on this call. Thank you so much, Ivan, for the introduction and the great things that you've said about our company and myself. I'll be the first to tell everybody on this call that I'm not as good as my results say that they are, and I'll tell you why in a second. I've had a lot of help, and it's not all me. We've got an incredible product. We've got an incredible system that we have here, leadership, and then the other leaders that we have, such as Ivan and Elena and Steve and Rhonda Martin and Grant Ferguson and Jose Rivas, and many of those people have actually made it this business grow so fast that obviously many of the people who have been in great positions obviously get the credit. But what my goal is to share with you how we've actually been able to do it. What we did in the very beginning from getting started in Organo Gold, where we were at that time, where we've grown to today since that time, but most importantly, for those of you who are listening in on this call, I want you to pay particular attention to where we are about to go. I think the past is great, but none of us on this call or none of you who are now non-participants at this moment can benefit financially from what happened 5 years ago. All the revenue and the volume that's been created, it's already been cashed out. None of that you can benefit from. But where we're about to go, which is going to be 4, 5, 6 times larger than where we've been, that's where the big opportunity is. Myself, as Ivan mentioned, I've been in the industry for a while. It's now been 23 years. September will be my 24th year of being involved in this incredible industry of network marketing. I got my start in a company that many know it as the grandfather of network marketing. I invested about seven years in that company, and I never achieved an income in excess of $500 a month. But one of the things that I did notice, or one of the things that I did receive, was a wealth of knowledge, information, but most importantly, access to some of the most intelligent people, to some of the sharpest business minds when it came to the network marketing arena. And even though I didn't profit or make a lot of money or make any money in that company, people say sometimes you reap what you sow, but not necessarily where you sow. That was my story. I reap what I sowed, but I didn't reap it in that particular company. And I'm going to share with you now what the benefits have been over here in Organo Gold for you and your family. You know, when I got started in Organo Gold, I got started with a phone call. Those of you who are on the call right now, many of you are seeing Organo Gold for the very first time, probably wondering what's going on. Some of you probably heard the stories, and you're probably saying, I wonder are these stories true? They sound too good to be true. How could a company in such a short period of time produce such massive volumes, massive success, and how can they have this many success stories all around the entire world and be one of the most talked about companies in the industry of networking? Now, when that does happen, it creates an issue. It creates an issue because our success, the story of our success, has never been created in network marketing before. And what some people look at, and they say, well, if the company's done this amount of volume and has created this amount of people who are earning this amount of money, most people equate that to the number of distributors that we have in our company. And ladies and gentlemen, some people call that, well, market penetration or saturation. Now, I'm here to tell you that Organo Gold, we haven't even really scratched the scratch on the surface in terms of where we are from a volume and from a market opportunity standpoint. I'll give you some of those illustrations in a moment. But when I did get started in Organo Gold, mine started with an invitation. A friend of mine called me up and told me that he had found what he believed was the greatest product ever designed for the industry of network marketing. At that time, I had been in the industry for 18 years. I had no idea what he was speaking of. I asked him several times, what was the product? And he never told me until later on he told me it was coffee, and for me it was more of a demotivator. And the reason why is because still to this day, I don't drink coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. And I know many of you on this call right now will probably say, hold on for a second. How is this guy one of the top earners, and why did they make him the VP of sales if he doesn't even drink coffee? That seems like much of a hypocrite. Well, not necessarily, but that's what stopped me for my first 4 months of moving forward, because I was using what I would consider to be a small business person's mentality. In network marketing, one of the things that we've been taught and we teach all the time is become a product of the product. And for most of us, that means that you've got to use your own product. You do have to drink and consume your own product. And then I thought about it. Well, I don't drink coffee, so I can't get involved because I won't be able to promote with passion. Until I heard one statement. I was actually listening to something that somebody who's extremely, extremely successful has said, Warren Buffett, and he said, things that you like to do, you should make those your hobbies. But things that the world like to do, make them your business. And that was when it gave me permission to really let go and understand that I didn't have to be a coffee lover in order to profit from coffee. And that was when I opened my eyes. I guess I woke up and smelled the coffee, and I started to really understand that this opportunity and this product was absolutely right. It was the greatest product that had ever been designed for network marketing. What my steps were at that time, our company had no branding at the time. We had no customer service. We had none of the offices that we have. We were open only in the Philippines, and it just opened North America at that moment. And what I did is I actually I sampled the coffee as I was looking for an opportunity, and I thought it tastes pretty good. But, being that I wasn't a coffee drinker and had never drank coffee, I didn't understand how everybody else would receive it because I had no reference point. The very first thing that I did is I gave my wife a sample. She signed off on it. She told me that she thought it was just as good as any other latte that she had ever drank, and my wife occasionally drinks coffee. The second thing that I did is I started to give some samples to a few neighbors. I gave 10 of my neighbors some samples of the coffee. Now, at this time, I was not a distributor. I had not made a decision to join Organo Gold or to market the product. I'm just evaluating to see if people would even like the product before I'd even get back with my sponsor to let him know that I had an interest. And out of 10 people that I gave some product to, what I recognize is 7 of those people wanted to buy more product. 7 of them came back in less than 48 hours who wanted to buy more of that coffee. 3 of them who did ask me about the opportunity They never got involved, but at least I had 10 out of 10 who developed interest in this product. See, at that time, I had been in the industry for 18 years. I had built some pretty large teams. I had earned millions of dollars in the industry prior to Organo Gold. But I can tell you this, it was very few times that I was ever 100%. And most of the times before that, I was more of the person who started with the opportunity. Here I was leading with a product, and here it is. I've got 7 out of 10 who are interested, 3 out of 10 who are interested in the business. That allowed me to know that everybody who touched this opportunity could actually start to earn money. And what made me really join was when I sent some product to my mom, my dad, and my mother-in-law. Now, they've been my biggest supporters. They've been around the industry with me ever since Erlene and myself got started. But the story that meant more to me than anything else was when my mother-in-law called me back 24 hours after she had received the coffee, and she told me she needed 4 more boxes. And the purpose she needed 4 more boxes is because the box that I sent her, she sold it. And I didn't want her to sell it. But the people that she had actually gave samples to, they had ordered a box, and it was 4 people, 4 of her coworkers, because they had never had the type of energy after drinking a cup of coffee. She had no idea this was network marketing. She had no idea that our product had an herb in it called Ganoderma that I'm going to talk about in a moment. It was only something very simple that she did that was natural, and that was share the coffee. She wasn't looking to make a profit, wasn't looking to sponsor anyone. But anyway, when they ordered it, she marked it up $10 a box without even knowing the price, and I made a $40 commission. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll share this with you right now. Our company today has generated nearly $1 billion in sales, over $800 million, close to $900 million in sales. All of that started because of a $40 commission. Why do I say that? Because the big money in network marketing is going to be made with those who actually make a choice to go out and develop themselves as a leader. But the big money in network marketing only happens long term when you have enough people who see that they can make a very small profit on a retail basis. That's what attracted me to Organo Gold. And once we did that, ladies and gentlemen, once my mother-in-law did that, I recognized this was the opportunity that I had actually been prepared for the past 18 years. I was preparing myself to find the right opportunity, the right product, and the right timing. It was called Organo Gold. When we started back then, ladies and gentlemen, that was what we call Wave 1. Wave 1 started with a limited product line, no customer service, as I mentioned, and we started also with very inexperienced distributors in networking. The majority of our people that started were people like Steve and Rhonda Martin, who were business people that had no experience whatsoever in the network marketing field. Many of our other top leaders like Jose Ardone and John Secturis, very limited success within the industry. And so we started with people who had never really made much money whatsoever in Organo Gold, and we started to build through a very simple sample-based methodology. What we did in our very first year from September of 2008, when I got started, to the close of the year of 2008, was about $2 million in sales, just giving out free samples of coffee. And what we recognized was that this methodology worked. We found out that people were enjoying the product. People were having some great results from using the product. And we found out that our simple method worked. Well, the next year, we did the exact same thing. We did about $9 million in sales. This was 2009. 2010, we kept the same 4 questions, the same 4 steps that I'm going to talk about in a moment, and we did about $47 million in sales. The following year, ladies and gentlemen, we went to 152. The year after that, about 300. And this year, we did just under $350 million in sales. And when you look at that, that is a strong success story called Wave 1. Those people had very limited success. When you look at some of our top distributors that we have in the company, Marianne Node, who was a person who had never really made much money in the industry, but really, really was in love with the herb, the herb called Ganoderma, the reishi mushroom, and loved the idea of networking, but had never really, really succeeded. And we created that amount of revenue in phase 1. Now, what has happened as of late when people like Ivan, Sisco, and Elaine have gotten involved in Organo Gold, we've recently started what we call Wave 2. But before I describe to you what Wave 2 is, let me share with you a moment here why coffee and network marketing makes sense. Many of you have heard of it, and probably those of you who are experienced networkers who are on as guests, this is not your first time hearing about Organo Gold. Probably the first time that you heard about it, you thought the exact same thing that I did, or many of the other people that who've joined us who thought that this is a crazy idea. How in the world would you make money selling coffee? Well, what we've recognized, ladies and gentlemen, is this, is that in my 23, almost 24 years of network marketing, what I've recognized is this, is that I've sold product before that people needed. Those of you who are on this call who've either been in network marketing or any type of sales, you've always told your prospective customer, hey, I've got a product that you need. Let me fill a need for you. Whether it was a nutraceutical, some type of vitamin, some type of lotion, some type of consumer product, you told them that they need it, you sold it to them, and they bought it. What I figured out now, after 24 years of building network marketing, is that anytime you sell a customer or a distributor a need, that means that you need to resell them to continue to use it. I found out that people don't like to spend money on things that they need. People spend money on things that they want. Ladies and gentlemen, coffee is a product that nobody needs. It's something that they desire every single morning that they wake up. And that's why the results in Organo Gold are so strong. To give you an example of coffee and network marketing from a business standpoint, why is it working so strong? Why is it growing so fast? And why will it continue? Number one, it's not a fad. Coffee is not some new nutraceutical or new consumer beverage that somebody has just found out about and now bringing it to the marketplace that's going to get kind of overused. It's been here for hundreds of years before us. It's going to be here hundreds of years and thousands of years after us. It's here to stay. It's just that no one had ever thought about making coffee the product, the main product of a network marketing company. Well, the reason of the success is a company called Starbucks that you've heard of. Starbucks, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the biggest reasons for Organo Gold's success. You may say, are you partnered with Starbucks? Well, of course not. We don't look at Starbucks or any other coffee company as our competition. As a matter of fact, we believe Starbucks is our ally. See, Starbucks and places like Tim Hortons, what they've done is they've made it socially acceptable for people like you and me to pay $4, $5, $6 for a cup of coffee. See, never before those companies was that even acceptable whatsoever, because coffee was just something that was a very inexpensive drink that people drank on an everyday basis. When those companies came out, they created a category of what we call gourmet coffee. People say, well, what's the difference between regular coffee and gourmet coffee? The only difference is about $2 to $3 a cup. Okay? And so the gourmet coffee industry today, ladies and gentlemen, has grown tremendously. See, after Starbucks came out and created that category, what you found is other companies like McDonald's. McDonald's started selling the gourmet coffee called McCafe. See, before that, McDonald's had already been in the coffee industry since 1977. They were selling their coffee as a very inexpensive product, just more of an add-on or necessity to satisfy their customers' needs. They never thought about the huge profit potential until Starbucks started doing what they were doing. McDonald's actually got involved, and they recreated and rebranded and relaunched their coffee and called it McCafe. It created a very strong marketing campaign. They created a nicer cup, spill-proof lid. They did all the advertising. About 70% of their resources in advertising went towards the McCafe brand. They increased the price, and because of what Starbucks was able to do, McDonald's now, who joined the coffee campaign, today produces tens of millions of dollars of sales every single quarter of just McCafe sales alone. Well, after McDonald's got involved, you notice there's a company out there called Burger King. They follow McDonald's with everything that they do. Burger King created the Ice Mocha, and it became a huge hit. They just recently announced that they're launching a new variety of lattes and mochas, and they're expecting to increase sales over $10 billion the very first year that they launch. Why? Because the coffee sales are growing in North America 20% per year right now as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. After Burger King, you had other companies such as Wendy's and Dairy Queen. You even had companies like Dunkin' Donuts to actually change their logo from a donut to coffee. Why? Because they all figured out one single thing. This is the one thing that we figured out as well that we couldn't do with any other product in networking. We couldn't do it with a vitamin. We couldn't do it with skincare. We couldn't do it with basic commodities as well, and I'm not putting any of those products down. What we recognize is that coffee was actually a commodity. Coffee is the second most traded commodity on Wall Street behind oil. We realize that every company now is catching on that Starbucks was able to take something, the raw materials or the raw materials of their product, which is coffee bean, about 7 cents worth of raw materials, and produce about $15 for every single 7 cents. See, it took about 7 cents worth of coffee beans to make a pot of coffee, and that was a $15 profit off of every pot. If you extrapolate that number to $700, it's $150,000 in profit just from the raw materials alone. Just think about it. What other product do you know of that you've ever seen sold in the industry of networking that has that type of markup? This is why companies all around the world are now getting involved in the coffee business. In North America, right here in the United States, we've got a company called Walgreens. Walgreens is a pharmacy that pretty much sells a lot of pharmaceutical things of that nature. Today, they're installing coffee bars in the Walgreens. Why? Because people want to capture coffee sales wherever people are shopping. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the right place at the right time. Most recently, you had a company out there called Subway. Subway just started opening up their stores at around 7 in the morning, and it's not because you and I wanted a foot-long sandwich that early. It's simply because Subway started selling Seattle's best coffee, and that's when people want their coffee early in the morning. And so when you put all of that together, what I did is I just took a look at not what my brother-in-law thought. I never took a look at what another networker thought. I took a look at the CEOs of these major Fortune 500 corporations and these brands that have been around for years. I took a look at what the marketing executives and VPs of operations and sales and VPs of international markets of these companies were thinking, and I recognized something. When you put all of it together, it's called a clue. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why I actually launched my other reason for launching in the coffee industry. That was wave one of Organo Gold, as I mentioned to you. And wave one was creating the success that we created in the first 5 years, typically with non-network marketers, people who didn't really have a huge network or any success whatsoever. Most recently, Organo Gold has now started what we call wave two. It's one of the purposes of this call here. Many of you on this call have a little bit more experience, and it's not necessarily network marketing experience. It's just that people who've got a little longer reach. Some of you right now may be corporate professionals, and you're maxed out maybe at $250,000 a year, and you have no idea how to get to $500,000. And it's all relative. Some of you right now may be at $60,000 a year, but you have no idea how to get to $100,000. We've got people on this call who are already making $1 million a year, but you know what? They have no concept, and there's not enough hours in a day for them to get to $2 million. Well, the concept of network marketing and one of the greatest products and consumables in the world today called coffee, I believe, is that link. It's that bridge to get you from where you are to where you want to go. Now, obviously, I couldn't guarantee any of you any amount of income. I don't know what your work capabilities are, and if you're willing to follow a proven system. Okay? But let me share with you a little bit more of the business model. When we did launch in the very beginning, we started with 3 flavors of coffee starting in wave one. It was our black coffee, we had our latte, and then we also had our mocha. Shortly after, we started to introduce a few more products like our green tea, and then we started to introduce hot chocolate. Now we've got our red tea, and we've got black tea, and we've got our Cafe Supreme, many different beverages that we have. One of the other things that we've done as well is we've introduced what we call our capsules. You know, the difference between our coffee and any other coffee out there in the world is not just that it's great-tasting gourmet coffee. The difference is an herb that's over 4,000 years of history. If you ever check it out, just go to Google yourself and look up the word Ganoderma. That's Ganoderma. Ganoderma. When you look up Ganoderma, what you're going to find is so many different benefits or so many different reasons why it was known as one of the national treasures of China. It's grown over in China, and they've been using it for thousands of years because what they found is that Ganoderma actually allows the body to perform the way that it was designed to perform. Okay? And that's what we're talking about, you being able to have a product that not only is a consumable product, but what we've done is we realized that people don't want pills. They don't want to wake up every morning and take capsules. Why? I've been doing networking 23 years, and most of the customers that I had in nutritional supplements, they started, they bought it, but they never finished the bottle. And so what we figured here is this. Why don't we take the health and put the health inside the habit? We found out nobody in the world needs coffee. Everybody wants it. Everybody in the world needs nutrition, but nobody wants it. And so that's why what we've done here is said, let's take the finest nutrition known to man called Ganoderma and put it into coffee where you can't see it, you can't taste it, and you can't smell it. And that's what we've been able to do ladies and gentlemen, through the OrganoGold business model is to create those types of products. So every product that we have now, we've even introduced our toothpaste. We've introduced soap and body creams and things of that nature. All of those are consumer products that have the Ganoderma in those products where you can't see, taste, or smell them. Okay? And so that's the OrganoGold product line that we have. From a system standpoint, how do we market it? Because having a great product is one thing. Having a great product that you know how to get to the marketplace is another thing. The world is full of great ideas, great products, great inventions that nobody knows how to get to the marketplace, but OrganoGold has figured it out. We realized that if we gave away our product for free, if the product was as good, if it tastes as good as we said that it did, that people will want more of it. So we said, let's not charge. Let's not look for salespeople. Let's not look for high-powered or high-pressured presenters who can go out and convince people, because that's not duplicatable. Let's put together something similar to what Facebook did. If you look at it, Facebook has the largest database of people for a company in the world, okay? Hundreds of millions of users today. Why? Because they simply allow people to send out an email link referral and say, hey, get your free account to share photos. Just think about it. If Facebook even cost 1 penny to enroll, we wouldn't even know of the name of the company today, because that 1 penny would have prohibited the majority of people from even getting started. So what we've done is come up with a 4-question sample methodology, and it goes like this. Do you or anybody you know drink coffee or tea at least occasionally? The second question is, well, how do you drink your coffee? Black or cream and sugar? Third question is, who's your favorite brand of coffee? And when they tell us, we ask the fourth question, which is, well, when was the last time that company ever paid you a commission for drinking or sharing that coffee? They typically smile and laugh and say never. And that's when we reach into our pocket or purses for the ladies and say, here, I want to give you a free sample of the coffee that pays. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you an example of how that works for us. Number one, it requires no sales skills, because we don't want anything from those people. We're not looking to sell it. We're giving them a free sample. When we do that, and in my example, in my experience, when I have followed up with those people, 1 out of every 5 people that I've actually sampled, in my experience, have actually become a distributor. 2 out of every 5 has become a retail customer, meaning 3 out of every 5 people that I've given a free sample to have actually generated revenue for us. So that's exactly what we've taught. Now, most of you are probably accustomed to very high, very intricate sales pitches or different methodologies that many people have to go to training and learn, and it takes them 2 to 3 weeks to learn. What we've realized is that the majority of the people have actually lost interest if they've got to take that long to learn. Our 4 questions are so simple because it's coffee. It's why we came up with the philosophy and the saying, it's easy, it's simple, it's coffee. And that's how we've actually built the OrganoGold brand. Our goal is this here. There's 2 things that we do in our company, and it's 2 things that OrganoGold pays us for, and that's why I'll explain the compensation plan here in a second. 2 things. The very first thing that we do, our mission, is building a community of coffee drinkers, retail customers. That is the first and foremost thing that our goal is we want to have a community of coffee drinkers in every community around the world. Today we're in 35 different countries around the world, and our goal is capturing 1% of each one of those markets in just coffee sales. The second goal that we have is to actually recruit or enroll entrepreneurs to start a part-time or full-time business so that they can in turn help us build an even larger community of coffee drinkers. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, the whole foundation of our OrganoGold is based off of people buying coffee on a retail basis, and we do it through direct retail or wholesale of other distributors who enroll into the company to help us do that. Now, with those 2 activities in mind, there's actually 7 separate commissions that the company assigns to those 2 activities. How does it work? Very simple. The first one is retail, just that I've mentioned right now. The retail commissions here are very simple, but they're very powerful. People are making as much as from 50% up to 250, 500%. Some even make more, depending on how they sell the product. To give you an example, I had a gentleman who's making a little over 1,000%. It's not typical, but this was his experience. He was in Killeen, Texas, and he went to a gun show. There were 12,000 people at the gun show, and people asked him, why in the world would you want to sell coffee at a gun show? He says, because I'm there to make a profit, not there to do an exhibit. I said, well, what do you mean? He says, listen, out of 12,000 people, I already know 9,000 of the people, without me even knowing them, they want coffee. So what he did is he bought a booth at the entrance and the exit. Okay? This is a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday afternoon, he was packing up all of his bags to go home. The reason why? He had already sold out of coffee. He sat there for a day and a half offering a small cup of coffee for $2.50 and a large cup for $5. Why? He had the exclusive rights in that convention to sell coffee. He made over $6,000 in retail profit, never recruited one single person at all, but it was $6,000 richer after a day and a half. Why? Because 9,000 people in the convention want coffee, and what he recognized is people who were sitting next to him selling the product for which the convention was designed were sitting there passing out pamphlets and flyers while he was collecting money. So the question you've got to ask yourself is, do you want to be in the business of glamour, or do you want to be in the business of profit? Coffee, ladies and gentlemen, is indisputable in terms of where its profits are coming from. Retail is the foundation. The second is what we call our fast-track commission. Fast-track commission simply means those who see themselves as an entrepreneur and want to build communities of their own of coffee drinkers have the option of enrolling into Organo Gold and choosing one of 3 packages. It will pay them up to $150 based off of the people that they enroll and those optional packages that are purchased. There's no limit to those number of people. It's called a fast-track commission. You only receive one of those for every person that you enroll. Now, the next one is what we call our dual team. Okay? The dual team is what Ivan and Elaine have actually mastered. They understand how to build and accelerate the organization. They understand exactly what they're doing, and they know how to build. And so if you're on this call, I can tell you you're definitely on the right team. The dual team simply means, some of you probably know it better known as a binary compensation plan. What happens is there's 2 communities of coffee drinkers that you're going to build in your wholesale team, okay? A left team and a right team. At the end of every week, Organo Gold will actually take a scan of your entire organization, and they'll go all the way down through infinity on both teams. And what they'll do is that they'll match, take the lesser team, and they'll pay you up to 10% of that sales volume. And then they'll go to the stronger team, match that same volume, and pay you another up to 10%. Simply put, it pays you up to 20% of the lesser team's volume. It's actually one of the most generous compensation plans of a dual team in the industry of networking. And the cap reaches up to $75,000 per week. Okay? That's the dual team. Now, incomes 4, 5, 6, and 7, instead of me explaining to you detail by detail how they work, it's simply residual income. Residual income simply means once you build that community of coffee drinkers, remember this product is a habit, something people do all the time anyway. You never have to remind them. It means that you have the ability to continue to get paid over and over and over every single sip, every single cup that a person pours. Money can be coming back from your coffee business. Let me give you an example of how it works based on those 2 activities that I gave you. Now, this example is for illustration purposes only. It's not a model to say this is what you're going to earn, okay, because I can't guarantee you this. But let me give you an example of how our compensation plan works on a residual basis. There's 2 questions that I want to ask you. First question is this. Let's just say within a 30-day period, do you believe that you can change the brand of coffee of at least 10 people within your community? Maybe your neighborhood, maybe your church, maybe where you work, maybe where you work out. Any area where you actually have a community of people, can you change the brand of coffee that they're drinking to Organo Gold, just of 10 people in 30 days? Well, if you said yes to that, which you should be able to, because we have people who are able to do that in their first 4 hours in the business. So if you said yes to that, let's just say, for example, you've got 10 customers. In an example here, the average customer in Organo Gold, they buy 2 boxes of coffee per month. Now you've actually got 20 boxes of coffee that you're selling at retail. Let's just say that the average retail profit is $15 a box. You've got a $300 income that you've got this month. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Those people drink coffee next month. Just on your efforts alone, you've got a $3,600 increase, and it only took you 10 days to do it. Why? Because the product does the work every other month. Now, that's just on your efforts alone. Let's just say here, the second question is over 18 months, the next 18 months. My question is, do you believe that if we helped you, working with Ivan, working with Elaine, working with myself, working with Steve and Rhonda Martin and many of the other top earners that we have in Organo Gold around the world, do you believe that you can build a team of just 1,000 people in 18 months? Not personally sponsoring 1,000, but just an entire team. Let me give you an example of what happens with the residual. Okay? A team of 1,000 distributors in Organo Gold, in this example here, let's say that we showed them how to get their 10 customers. That means you've now got 10,000 customers within your organization. Remember, there's an average of 2 boxes per month per person. That's 20,000 boxes of coffee within your organization now that's being sold. We assign about a 15-point commissionable volume to each one of those products. So now you look at 15 times 20,000. It's going to give you 300,000 in total coffee business sold throughout your entire group. Organo Gold's residual income, we pay somewhere between 8 to 12%. It could be a little less, could be a little higher. In this example, let's take the average of 10%. If you take 10% of that 300,000, you've got a $30,000 residual income. Now, if you think about it, I've not talked about any recruiting income whatsoever. This is simply retail income that comes through the residual compensation plan of the organization from the group that you've built. In 24 years of network marketing, ladies and gentlemen, and the shares of money that I've earned, I've never seen anything that was as solid and as stable, that grew as fast from a residual standpoint as what I've seen here in Organo Gold. So hopefully in this example you're able to see somewhere where you can actually fit your own income. Now the last income that we have here is what we call a car bonus. Organo Gold has put together a Mercedes-Benz program that will allow you to get yourself a Mercedes, and Organo Gold will pay the bill. We start from $400 up to $1,000 a month for any Mercedes-Benz of your choice. Then we've got an elite program that pays $3,000 a month for any exotic car that you choose. Many people love, Lamborghinis and Ferraris and Rolls Royces, but you know what? Organo Gold recognizes that cars are not assets, and so they don't want you investing your money. They say, hey, listen, let us pay the note for you, and when the note's paid off, the car belongs to you, which means you can take your money and invest it somewhere else while Organo Gold allows you to ride in style. Not too many other companies will do that. Now, that's the compensation plan that we have in Organo Gold. Getting started is very simple. It's a $49 kit to allow you to position yourself in Organo Gold. This gives you access to being able to buy products at the wholesale level. You can retail those products if you choose to. It also gives you the ability to sponsor other individuals and start to at least have a network within your tree. Now, starting at that level, if you want to actually start earning those other incomes, you've got to at least wait another 30 days before you start getting credit for all of those other incomes. But Organo Gold says some people want to start fast, and we've got what we call our optional promotion packs, which allow you to start earning incomes 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 immediately. How do you do it? The first one is what we call the bronze pack. The bronze pack is an additional $150. You'll receive $150 in product. The company says, okay, because you've created this amount of volume, you're able to start right away earning dual team commissions, and we'll pay you up to 10% of the lesser team total. Okay? Now, there's another package that we have called the silver pack. It's $450 additional dollars. $450, you're looking at about a total $500 startup. You got about $450 in products there that you'll receive. Organo Gold says because of the volume of product that's associated with that silver pack, you qualify now for up to 15% of the lesser team. We're talking about a 50% increase in your income potential. Why? Because you've created more product sales with the silver pack. And ladies and gentlemen, the ultimate pack that most people choose to start is what we call the gold pack. It's an additional $1,249 outside of the kit fee, giving you about $1,300 in products. You got a $1,300 total startup. Organo Gold says, listen, at the gold pack, it's the maximum that you can start. We'll pay you starting off up to 20%. It means that Ivan, who already has a very large, fast-growing organization in Organo Gold, who's in our business, it means that you started the exact same percentage that he's receiving right now. You started the exact same percentage that all of Organo Gold's top earners are earning when you start with that gold pack. Okay, and so that gold pack, ladies and gentlemen, is the way to maximize your dual team commissions and to accelerate some of your income. You know, the thing I tell you is this here. As we move into phase 2 or wave 2 of our organization, wave 2, ladies and gentlemen, if you've noticed that we've introduced now people who've got a little bit more experience. We've recently added on Greg Norman, who's our global brand ambassador, as we've now introduced one of our latest, biggest promotions, one of the biggest product announcements that we've ever done in Organo Gold, and it's the Organo Gold Brew Cup. We've actually got Greg Norman's signature and photo on every single brew cup that's sold, which means that, just imagine, your customer or distributor, anytime they want to sell that product, Greg Norman walks in with them, which is instant credibility. He's one of the world's most renowned athletes turned businessmen, and his credibility is absolutely impeccable. With the brew cup, what we've recognized is this, is that it's the new way that people want to consume and drink their coffee. 16 million homes currently have them. They're expecting that to grow 35% this year. Organo Gold actually exercised first movers advantage, and we are the very first network marketing company to market a brew cup style or K-cup style product. And so right now is the right time to be involved with Organo Gold. As I mentioned before, our goal is to capture 1% of the entire coffee industry in North America. When we do that, it represents about $125 million in coffee sales. Organo Gold's compensation plan pays out 50%. That means $62.5 million per month will be paid back to its distributors. People like Ivan and Elaine, people like myself, people like Shane Moran, people like Stephen Rhonda Martin, Grant Ferguson, and many of the other leaders. My question is, will it be people like you? Hopefully it will. I can tell you it's been my pleasure to be on this call and present to you what I believe is the greatest opportunity that I've ever seen in my 41 years on Earth and in my 27 years in business here. And what I'd like to do right now is to say thank you. I want to pass this call back to Ivan Sisco with another announcement that he wants to make. But remember, everybody, it's easy, it's simple, it's coffee, and we'll see you guys at the top. Ivan, thank you for having me on this call. I want to say congratulations for having an amazing call, record numbers of people on this call, and I look forward to seeing you at our convention, Ivan. Back to you.
Wow. Thank you so very much from the bottom of all of our hearts, Holton, Mr. Buggs. We appreciate you taking the time to spend with us. Clearly, we're excited about everything that's going on, so thanks again. Before you all